Okay, this is video 3 in my video series. Once again, my name is Jeffrey Scott Myers. I'm the founder of Quantum Levels Healing, Quantum Levels Healing Academy of Sciences, first year doctorate student at Quantum University, working on my PhD in quantum physics and integrative medicine. I wanted to highlight, I recently wrote an article that I'd like to share. That's why I'm reading off here, because I have the article in my hand here. And I'd like to highlight something that no one else addresses, because as you know by now, I'm a very out-of-the-box thinker. That's why I get such good results with people, because I think very much out of the box. This is something that no one addresses or even aware of this phenomenon is happening, and that's causing you to become even more ill than you have to. The psychological stress response initiated by just a few mere simple words from your primary doctor delivering this news to you, nurse practitioner, who's ever delivering you the news from your diagnosis. I had a recent case where the person went to her doctor with menstrual-related concerns, and the first thing the brilliant doctor said was, well, we better check for cancer. Let me explain how this biological changes work in the stress response to such a simple sentence like that, and how inflammation can be instantaneously turned on, okay? This is very important. These are the things that nobody thinks about and nobody considers, because everybody's so close-minded and stuck inside this little tiny box with no other alternatives in the entire universe. These are the only answers inside the medical model, conventional, allopathic medical, tiny little box that they box you in. Drug, surgery, ablation, electrocution, removal. That's all they know. Let me explain how these biological symptoms work, and how, like I said, inflammation can instantly be turned on. The immediate response from the mind is chemistry, okay? Everything comes down to chemistry. Everything is chemicals and everything is electricity. That's what it all comes down to. That very news automatically triggers a response from the autonomic nervous system to go from the parasympathetic nervous system right to the sympathetic nervous system, the fight or flight, okay? Follow me here, because this is all true. It's just, nobody thinks about these things, okay? That's why I'm here. That's why I'm so successful with my clients, because I have a very unique way of thinking about things. At this point, hormonal reactions are turned on in order to deal with this perceived threat. The mind doesn't know whether the threat is real or not. It just goes by hormonal responses and what, basically sending signal. It doesn't know the difference, okay? At this point, the hormonal reaction turned on in order to deal with the perceived threat. The amygdala part of the brain sends signal to the hypothalamus, to the pituitary gland, to the adrenal glands, causing the blood pressure to rise, cortisol levels to increase, anxiety, just to name a few of the biological changes. Blood sugar level goes up from the release of insulin from the liver. When blood sugar levels go up and you don't respond in a fight or flight response, if you don't run, then the body automatically stores that sugar as fat, increasing the size of the cell. When in the state of fight or flight hormone response, we as a human being cannot love, create, think logically, grow, trust, or problem solve to look for the very answer that causes disease in the first place. You're not going to find the answer when you don't have the ability to logically think, because you're scared and you're in that fight or flight hormonal response. Being the immune system shuts down under these conditions, the body will not heal. The very thing you're trying to achieve by seeing your primary physician is not going to happen. The mind, brain, the immune system, the nervous system, the digestive system, as well as the microbiome, are all linked and work, as like I've said before, as a unified field. There's no separate parts here, folks, okay? There's no separate parts. The response will also not allow you to absorb vitamins and minerals, as well as the body will put minerals and electrolytes, pull electrolytes and minerals to go other areas of the body, such as the brain and nervous system, which causes you to be deficient in other areas. At this point, any inflammatory markers you are currently experiencing, which I'm sure you have, because if you're going to the doctor for a certain illness, there's some type of inflammatory marker, will be enhanced because of the psychological stress response, as well as the body, as previously mentioned, will not heal. One more thing to consider, this vicious cycle continues when you get this news and you go home and you start Googling everything, okay? You get this news and you go home and you start Googling, and here goes the cycle. Here goes the vicious, scared fight or flight cycle, which is normal, but I'm just kind of pointing out to you what happens, which is going to make matters worse for you as you stay in this fight or flight mode until you feel like you've resolved the issue, which will not be resolved interacting with the ever so biochemically ignorant medical model. Nobody gets better seeing a doctor, okay? How many times do I have to say this? And I don't understand why everybody on the planet doesn't understand that. From an evolutionary biology standpoint, the body is not supposed to be in a constant daily state of long-term stress. This response will cause the downregulation of disease-causing genes as well, epigenetics, turning genes on and off. At this point, you can count on the second law of thermodynamics kicking in, which says all biological systems will go from a higher state of energy to a lower state of energy, hence disease or death. The takeaway here, one simple word like cancer presented in the wrong way, and when they'll tell you this, the medical model, the doctor, the nurse practitioner, whoever it is, will just casually say, well, we better check for cancer. They don't care about your well-being. They don't care, again, they don't care about anything else you have going on, what you have, any trauma, stress, they don't care about anything else. All they care about is really your money. That's basically it. So presenting the wrong way causes a cascade of survival chemistry, leaving you in a state of further inflammation, breakdown, despair, and inability to heal, okay? The body cannot heal under duress like this. It doesn't work that way, okay? Like I said in my other video, no biological system can sustain life living in a constant fight or flight stress mode. It just doesn't work like that. There's always going to be breakdown sooner or later. So, so I hope that logically makes sense, how one single word can cause all kinds of problems. If I had let me finish with this, talking about the delivery of the news from your diagnosis. And it wasn't even a diagnosis. She went in for a menstrual problem, and they automatically go right to cancer because they don't know any better. Remember, the medical model studies clinical chemistry, charts, statistics, graphs, numbers, not biochemistry. They have no clue about biochemistry. They don't have a clue about much of anything else as far as healing goes. If I would have the same client, okay, and we were on a beach somewhere or in a calm environment somewhere, and I would say, hey, we ran some tests and it looks like you might have some kind of cancer, but don't worry, we got this handled, no problem, relax, we got this, we're in a great environment here, you're going to heal from this, no problem. You see the difference there from a cold medical office with computers and the doctors and the nurses and the diagnostic equipment, and just how are you ever going to heal in that type of environment? It's never going to happen. So I hope you learned a little bit of something here about how one single word can cause all kinds of problems. Oh, said low battery. Hope that didn't affect the video. But anyway, there's my video for today.